Danielle, congratulations on a fantastic tournament. Just to begin with, perhaps you could tell us your emotions right now.
Yeah, not the result that I wanted, obviously, tonight, but I gave it my best effort. I did everything that I could. I was pushed to the max, and I gave myself a chance there in the end. And unfortunately, it didn't go my way, but I did everything I could, and that's all you can do at the end of the day. So it was a great event for me. Accomplished some new things, learned a lot of new things, and certainly have some areas to improve, which is a good thing. And played against a great competitor tonight, and it was a fun battle.
Okay, questions from the room? Craig.
Danielle, while there's extreme disappointment right at this moment, I'm sure, do you think in a few days' time you'll really get to appreciate what you've achieved over these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think, I think right now I'm disappointed, but I think that we're going to have some time to celebrate everything that I accomplished this week with the people here supporting me. And it's a great moment for me, regardless of the outcome today. And I knew that before going into the match. And so going to take some time to celebrate a little bit and enjoy some time here in Melbourne and do some of the things that we wanted to do, but we're busy with the tournament, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Chris?
Danielle, first off, great eloquent speech after the match. It's very touching. I wanted to ask if you felt like being in a slam final in that environment out there with the crowd so for Ash and your first sort of context like that, whether that had an impact on you mentally and how you felt about the way you played relative to that.
Yeah, it's not easy going out and playing someone pretty much on their home court, on home soil in the finals of a major, but this is what we live for in sports, right? These are incredible moments that you don't get to experience very often, and it was a real honor to be out there. I tried to embrace every moment. I tried to get the crowd fired up. I tried to get myself into it and did everything I could. And even though, the crowd was clearly for Ash, I felt like I had a lot of really great support there, which was great for me, being in that situation. So, it was a fun battle.
Okay, go to Ben and then Catherine.
Congratulations. There was a moment in the second set where there was someone heckling you after a missed serve, and then afterwards you kind of giving it back to them. I mean, how much did you enjoy getting to sort of be fired up by that and feeding? Because you played really well in that little stretch after that.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff only helps me. I think that for those who've watched me over the last couple of years have kind of seen that and learned that. And I love nothing more than someone doing something like that, because I just love competing and love trying to make it fun. And that's kind of what it was.
Do you know who it was in the audience?
No, I don't think
in that general direction.
I don't think so. But maybe the general direction. But it added some flair to the match, and it was fun for a moment there. And I just had to get back to my game.
Danielle, I mean, you got closer than anyone else this tournament, but Ash has just won the title without dropping a set. You've played a lot of great players. How does she rank at the moment among those great players that you faced?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty clear with her ranking and her success over the last couple of years where she ranks. I mean, #1 in the world, right? So playing incredible tennis. She pushed me to the max, and I did everything I could and fell a little bit short there. But I gave myself a chance, and physically, it wasn't my best day, unfortunately, and that was something that I was dealing with in the whole tournament, so I look forward to playing her when I feel 100%.
Okay, Eleanor?
What did she do differently from 5-1 to turn it around?
I think she started to push me back in the court a little bit more, and I think I was having some issues really being able to fully rotate on some of my shots to be able to get my shots to where I needed them to be, and it was really unfortunate, but did everything I could, tried to push through it, fell short, and she definitely, came up with some great shots in some of those big moments, especially with her serving and pushing me back in the court.
Go to Ben and then the back of the room.
just not having a coach here with you, how proud are you of your own coaching of yourself to coach a player into the finals of the Grand Slam? Like, just the sort of tactical work you were doing or whatever else you were doing to prepare for matches, like, what did that entail, and how, I guess, much satisfaction do you take from that achievement?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a really good way to look at it too, is, I really am having to kind of coach myself. And, I think I went in with the right game plan. I did, again, everything I could. But unfortunately, there were some things that were just not working for me. And that's really hard technically if you're not in a good place physically to be able to get yourself to do those things. And so today, my body wasn't always agreeing with me. And I was in a little bit of a fight with my body. Which is to be expected when you go this far in a tournament. So, I think my assessment, was generally pretty good. I think there's some areas I need to improve. And, I can certainly walk away proud without having a coach and kind of doing it on my own. So many of the top players have a full entourage or posse and support team, doing their homework for them. And that's not the way that it's been for me really ever in my career. I haven't worked consistently with a coach, for longer than a few months. And so I've had to do a lot on my own and a lot of homework, a lot of scouting, a lot of technical work. And it hasn't been easy. It's been very challenging and mentally taxing at times. But I'm just trying to stick with the process and do the best that I can. And I'm learning a lot of things along the way. And Ash certainly taught me a lot of things today on court. Yeah, I've struggled with a low back this tournament, really since I think against Towson. That match, I started having some issues with my back. It was a lot between the singles and the doubles. I normally don't play singles and doubles, and so that kind of did me in a little bit, and something I've been kind of dealing with since those days, back to back, and been managing it well, but it hasn't been easy, and just proud of myself for being able to push through.
Danielle, you mentioned on court when you were thanking Joe and Marty for their support that there'd been a lot of people in your lifetime who didn't have any belief in your tennis career. What do you think they're thinking of your career now after your run here at this tournament?
Well, this is a fun question because I would like to share some of the conversation between Marty and I a few nights ago when we're joking about some tournaments that he had attended with me at 25K in Orlando, where I did not have the best performance, and thinking about the way that I'm playing now versus then. It seems like a lifetime ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. And just other, situations that I was in playing kind of some of those smaller tournaments and facing challenges and bumps in the road, and how I used to go about things and think about things, and how clueless I was sometimes, and how much I've learned and grown from those moments. And now we can kind of look back and laugh, but during those moments we had some tough conversations, and Marty was always on call for all of those. So yeah, I think we've shared some incredible memories over the years, but especially this week to see all of those, baby steps come together now and being on the biggest stage in the world. It's just been so special. I mean, it's so hard to do this on your own without a coach, without a consistent, person day to day, but you gotta have at least one person that believes in you. And I think Marty has really believed in me from the beginning and has always supported me, whether it's been with my health challenges and doing what's best for me, with those types of things, or calling Marty about my cabinetry problems in my house, or dealing with tough losses, and also being excited over the moments in victory. So I'm really lucky to have a friend and mentor like Marty who's been able to help me, because this is a rarity sometimes, and I'm so grateful. And now having Joe a part of my life, we've spent some time together and had some amazing experiences early on in our relationship, and it's just been so much better having Joe involved. He makes everything better and more enjoyable, and so much fun together off the court. I can't wait for so many more adventures with both of these guys. So.
Okay. Last couple in the room there, and then finish with Ben.
Now that you mentioned how hard it is to do it yourself and so on, following Ben's question, now that you are in the top 10 probably after this tournament, do you think you will change that strategy? You will have this entourage as we see at the top players, a whole team supporting you and so on?
You know, there's been some discussions about having different people serve different roles, and we're kind of looking into some different options. I'd like to be able to have a physio with me, assisting me with, you know, some of the data, you know, it's to be able to have somebody consistently working on my body. So that's a goal of mine. We're having, you know, a lot of discussions about that, and then, you know, still having some discussions about coaching and hitting partners, and hopefully it works out.
Ben.
Similar sort of question, I guess, but you're going to be in the top 10 on Monday. You'll be #1 American on Monday. I'm just wondering if you've had a different sort of sense of your, I don't know, status on tour, if you've gotten attention from sponsors or agents or other things during this week, and how you're sort of planning on handling the mantle of being atop the American tennis ladder for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it hasn't really fully set in yet, because for a while I've wanted to be a top 10 player, and it was a goal of mine last year. I fell a little bit short, and to reach it this early on in the season has meant the world to me. You know, I think that I just have to keep going day by day and just working towards my goals. There's other things that I'm going to want to achieve moving forward. I've gotten so much support from other players especially, which has been so nice, and it's something that I love so much about our sport is the camaraderie a lot of us share in the locker room and the friendships. I really think that for an individual sport, and being as competitive as we all are, it's amazing some of the friendships that we share. And I've been bubbling, like I had spoken about, you know, in a few press conferences ago. So I haven't really been, you know, on social media as much, and well, really not at all. And I haven't really even been checking my messages, to be honest, because I've been so locked in to everything that I'm doing. So I have a lot to kind of go through and absorb, and we will see moving forward what the sponsorship situation is going to look like, what the agent situation is going to look like, and I'm really excited for hopefully some new opportunities.
Okay, we'll go to questions online.
We'll take a few questions online, and our first one comes from Wooly Weinbaum, ESPN.
Hi, Danielle. You mentioned earlier the notion of people believing or not believing in you, but what have you proven to yourself with this run to the final, and how you pushed Ashleigh Barty in a way no other player did in the tournament?
That's a very philosophical question. You know, I've for a while believed that I'd be able to make deep runs, especially after winning my first 2 tournaments last year. But I think the thing that I've been most impressed with is the way I've been able to adjust when I'm not playing my best, and when I'm not feeling 100% physically, being able to make adjustments to get myself to be comfortable and to put myself in a position to win sets and matches. And so I think that's probably what I've been most proud of in this tournament.
We'll take our next question from Reem, The National.
Hi, Danielle. Congrats on a great tournament. Then at the moment, you don't seem to be on social media in terms of having official accounts and stuff. So I'm not sure how aware are you of how your fan base has really grown over the past couple of weeks, because in general, you had a lot of fans because they loved your attitude on court and stuff, but these past 2 weeks gave fans another chance to get to know more about you through all the press conferences and stuff. And I'm wondering, what does it mean to you that fans get to understand you more, and that to know that your fan base is expanding this way?
Yeah, it means the world to me. I think as a professional athlete, one of the most special things that we get to experience is the love and support from people all around the world and people that we don't even know. Before being on social media, I've experienced having great fan pages and people sending me amazing messages and encouragement. And that's something that is so hard to wrap my head around, because I just think it's such a special thing that you only get to have during such a short period of your life. And it really means the world to me. I haven't been getting to see a lot of that since I've been bubbling and focusing just on my tennis and being present with Marty and Joe and everybody else around me. But hopefully we'll be able to kind of take some time over the next couple days, be able to send some messages back, be able to interact with some of the people who have been supporting me and staying up late to watch these matches and getting up early. And I hope that I can continue to connect with people and for people to get to know me better. I feel like earlier on in my career, people didn't really know a lot about me aside from me just going to college. And I feel like this week has just been an incredible job, an incredible opportunity with all of the media here. I think you guys have done a really great job kind of covering my journey and my story, and it really means a lot to me. I want people to get to know me better and feel as if they do know me. So.
And we'll take Courtney Newen, WTA.
Hey, Danielle, congratulations on a great tournament. I'm curious now that you're top 10 and, you'll be doing more interviews, you'll be in front of the media a lot more than you might have been before. I'm curious how you see your platform. I mean, you're going to be in front of a mic a lot more and asked about a lot of things and be able to share a lot of your point of views on the world and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just curious, what you want to use your kind of new platform for.
Well, I guess we're going to find out shortly. I think one of the things that has meant the most to me is women's health, especially going through the journey that I have with my endometriosis and my rheumatoid arthritis, and continuing to share my story and be a friend for people out there struggling. That's going to be at the top of the list. Helping the youngsters as much as possible, especially the kids that were where I was in their situation and wanting to do this and continuing to mentor a lot of the kids. I think that's going to be really important for me. I do a lot of it at home. It happens multiple times a week. I don't get news coverage on that, but that's something that I do from my heart, and that's something that means so much to me, the relationships that I built with some of these girls and the impact that they've had on my life. So I feel like that's helped me a lot in the biggest stages and just, the friendships. But yeah, I think there's so much more, so many different sides. I'm a pretty dynamic person. I think there's going to be a lot for people to learn about me, and hopefully good things, and we can make it fun.
And we'll take our final question, Prajwal from Times of India.
Hi, Danielle. I just wanted to go back to your back. I just wanted to ask you how much of a factor that was in today's final, and if it has got progressively worse during the tournament. And also, was that why you were not sitting down during changeovers all tournament?
Yeah, it was the reason why I wasn't sitting down the whole tournament. It was actually recommended at one point by one of the physical therapists just to keep my back from spasming. The biggest issue has just been muscle spasms in the low back, which has been challenging. So, today was not my best physically, if I'm being completely honest, but there were other times in the tournaments that I wasn't at my best physically. And so there's a lot of room for improvement with some of the things going on. And I'm hoping to work with a specialist going into next week that kind of specializes in this issue. And I'm hoping that these strategies and techniques are going to be able to help me moving forward into the next events in Dubai and Doha.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our press conference with Danielle Collins.